Welcome to First Down Sports. As always,
You did it again.
I'm your host, Ray Dunn. I was trying to get away from as always.
I know. Yeah, but you've gone back to your old... It's like Tim Tebow, you know?
right.
Once you get out of the pocket, you go back to your old habits.
That's it.
Leave this in.
Yeah, no, leave it in. Yeah. All right, so I'm your host, Ray Dunn. Down at the end of the table is my brother, Chris Dunn.
How's it going, eh?
And my co-host, producer, Andy Jardine.
Yo.
Back on sound and audio is Nick Dunn.
Nicholas.
Now, just so you guys all know, tonight heading into the show, Nick's got a new toy. He does have sound effects, so now we've told him to keep it,
Let it rip.
A minimum.
But we have no idea how often we're going to hear sound effects.
So,
on this.
Chris, we listened to all of them during warm-up, and do not let it rip. Do not let it rip.
Boing.
All right, before we get into the show, let's mention our sponsors. If it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Friday this week, I want you to head out to get yourself some Moose Light. This stuff is scary good.
Mm-hmm. So
You'll notice this week, hopefully you guys are checking out our YouTube channel that Andy's doing such a great job on. Our YouTube channel, all you got to do is go to YouTube, search First Down Sports Podcast. You're going to find it. Don't forget to subscribe.
right here. Subscribe,
Right? Subscribe to it.
right
Yeah, it's down there somewhere. And there's exclusive content on YouTube. I don't know if you know that, but there's things that you can only get on YouTube. You can only get my annoyed looks at the camera.
Yeah,
And us throwing paper at it.
that's it.
It's awesome.
Sold.
Now, for those of you that are watching YouTube, the reason why I have to give this disclosure up is tonight you'll notice I'm in my Sharp referee uniform.
It is sharp.
So much anger right
And
now.
a white hat.
And my white hat,
So
because
much anger.
in an hour and a half, I'm about to go on the football field and I'm about to referee a Bantam football game here. It's the city finals,
Another game ruined.
and I'm heading over to ref the game.
Kidding.
And that's why, because I'm about to go ref a game, I'm enjoying a nice glass of Moncton's finest water versus these guys drinking some of our sponsor, Moose Light.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
All
sense
right.
to me.
Now, Chris, do you want to hear something interesting about the game I'm about to go ref?
Shoot.
It's my first time doing a Bantam game this year, and I don't even know the rules that the league has because they have their own rules on top of that. So I just printed them off. I'm going to read them from here to there.
This is like the NFL. What they set up the referees to do is that they can't win.
I know.
So here's my.
They've got 5 downs in Bantam. That's what I hear.
Is that what it is?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but,
Keep going.
No, in Moncton they play 3-down ball. All right, let's move on. Sponsors, back to sponsors. Shirts, hats, jackets, pens,
Logos.
I was
Lumber
over there.
company. Lumber
I was
company?
over there this week picking up. We got a box of 10 hats at the back from the Doyles.
No way.
And I'm telling you, when you go in, they got a little thing there. You can get pens, calculators. You know how I'm always joking about this stuff?
Yeah, they got calculators.
They've got it. All right. So hats, shirts, pens, jackets, you name it.
They got it.
Go see our buddies the Doyle's corporate image.
The Doyle's rule.
Doyle Rolls.
And last but not least, but if you're in Ontario and you live near Luongos, make sure you go get yourself some Done Right sauce. This stuff is amazing.
It is,
Nick.
yeah.
You know, that Roberto, I mean, this guy's done well for himself. His own chain of
Yeah.
Hey,
Did you manage to hook in Ernie's camera from St. George? Did we get them?
we should get them too, eh? Ernie's camera.
Ernie's camera.
All right.
Yeah, thank
We're going to
you.
work on it, Ernie.
All right. Okay, so that's your sponsors. Now, let's get into the show. Welcome to November 1st. Can't believe it's November 1st already.
Yep.
Too fast.
Show number 65. How was your Halloween, Chris? How many houses did you and the kids hit last night?
Halloween was great. Really quick. I grabbed one of the wagons the kids have, drilled a hole in it, put a little sail up, and I had 2 little Moanas. Oh, they loved it. They loved it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Good. And you hit a lot of places?
Oh, yeah, probably about 100 houses.
Wow, that's not bad.
You must be swimming in candy.
Yeah.
Daddy's got to eat.
Now, do you take 10% of that candy right up top?
Of course.
Of course.
You know the industry.
That's what I used to do.
More like
You
35.
know the industry that we work in.
Now, Andy, rumor was you dressed up and went out last night.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you make out?
Absolutely. No, nothing going on in Grand Barishwa. not a single kid in sight. Rake some leaves after a while. Really, that was about it.
You're suspicious of the kids coming out.
You wouldn't believe living here. We had like 4 kids.
Really?
Jeannie's niece and
Well, it
and a
makes
friend
more
came,
sense now that
but
we
had
had
4
none.
kids. 4 kids living here. Like we're in the center of the city. I don't get it, but
That is strange. Yeah.
all right. So just to kind of give you guys an idea where we're at as far as the show goes, I don't know if you guys saw this on Facebook this week, but 1 year ago, this past week, 1 year ago, I conducted my very first interview, and I interviewed a gentleman by the name of John Gould.
Nice.
Okay.
And it was a fantastic interview. And I want to tell you, this guy is so, like, he's so passionate about football. I want to challenge a lot of my listeners to go back and listen to that interview. You can find it
good
on
one.
our website,
That's a challenge.
firstdownsportspodcast.com. Go to our guests. You'll see John Gould there. And the reason why is we really tackled the subject of concussions in that interview.
Yeah, remember.
And he talked about how football's at a crossroad. And with the whole concussion thing going on here in New Brunswick right now with Tantramar High School, here's a little snapshot for you. This past weekend in a quarterfinal football, sorry, it was a semifinal. In a semifinal high school football championship game, okay? The visitors, Matthew Martin, forfeited the game at halftime.
Wow.
Against Tantramar. So in the last 3 weeks, Tantramar's had 2 teams forfeit on them at halftime.
Wow. We're done.
And I'm not supposed to talk a whole lot about this subject
But
as an official, but I will tell you this. This is the thing that shocks me the most about this. Parents knew getting into this sport, football was a contact sport. When did it become okay for us to teach our kids to quit? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem with it. Yes, there's problems with headshots and all that, but when did we start to teach our kids it's okay to quit?
I don't know if that's the. I hear what you're saying. But me, you as a father, that you see a team playing as well as what that team was, and I would like to think that I'd be like, give it your best out there, son. But if I start seeing some injuries where increase from this one particular team, I don't know. Some of my instincts are being like, protect.
Maybe your kids shouldn't be playing football then.
Well, that's a great point. But I think your mind goes to that. But I'm like, you know what? It's up to the coaches then to prepare. And here's how to take a hit.
Yeah.
Have your head on a swivel. At one point back, there was a time when they put the stops on the back of people's jerseys in hockey.
Yeah.
Because kids were all getting hit from behind and the head injuries, and you just learn, keep your head on the swivel.
But you know what? Here's the problem. Remember when they had those stop things on the back of their jerseys?
It increased.
It increased.
It did.
Yeah.
My only opinion, the only thing I've noticed is I think as more precautions are taken to protect the offensive players, it's only getting worse. I think that kids need to be taught from a young age that, the offensive side of the ball is the fun side of the ball to play on, unless you're an O-line.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's a blast. But, you're on the fun side, and the other side has to stop you. And it's a very, very physical game, and they should be taught early how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And we have some examples of that, like the hot dog, especially at a young age. Every team has a hot dog quarterback that runs with the ball, right? Well, the moment you start running with the ball as a quarterback, you're not a quarterback anymore. You're a running back, and you're going to get nailed. And if you're hot dogging and taunting the defense and stiff arming guys and fighting for extra yards, you're putting yourself at risk. And everybody needs to be taught from an early age how to protect each other.
Yeah.
But I think an emphasis has to go to the offensive side now as to how to protect yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's
good points.
That's we could go on about that subject for hours.
Question though, you know more about the young. You're there reffing. Yeah. So, what age do they start learning to hit?
Atom age.
And
what age?
Atom age, I believe, is between the ages of 8 and 10, somewhere in that ballpark.
Right.
But
that's when they're taught. That's when you are hitting.
That's when you're starting to hit. Yeah.
Okay.
The province of New Brunswick has come out with rules that have taken the head out of play altogether.
Okay.
So no player can. Every running back has to have their head up. Like you can't put your head down. Like even if it's a 3rd and 1 and you're going for it, and you see the running back shoot low through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do it. Your face has to be
up.
And even a cage match when you're making a tackle, the cages are not allowed to hit each other. It's supposed to be a penalty in minor football.
Yeah.
But it's tough because you
don't know who instigated it.
Listen, there are kids that are playing Adam football, 8 and 10-year-old kids that are taller than us in their football gear. And you have some kids.
Yeah.
Height levels are a very difficult thing to have in minor football. You go to the game tonight, this Bantam game that I'm doing. These are kids up to the age of 18 years old. And there will be kids, I mean, they're giants.
Yeah.
Some of these kids over there. And some of them are first-year Bantam players, and they look like midgets around them.
You know what would be interesting to find out is, when I was a kid, I played a little bit of rugby in our PE, and Mr. McDermott, I love you. Hope you're still around. You're awesome. I tried to hit as a football player in rugby, and they're like right away, no, you can't lead with the head.
Oh, yeah.
And it taught me a whole different way of how to throw the body and actually made me a better hitter.
And when you're out there without a helmet on, like, it's instinct not to lead with
Yeah.
your
Well, and that's his protection. It's like you're not only going to hurt the kid by leading, because you're
knock
leading with,
yourself out.
but you're leading with your, you lead with your shoulder. But in football, sometimes it's incidental that you're leading with your head. But when you play rugby, there's none of that nonsense. You can't do that because you're going to hurt. You're going to hurt each other. So it would be kind of interesting to see. I wonder how, because that's a huge sport over there across the pond, where if they have the same problem in rugby, and if there's not, of maybe implementing what they do for kids.
Well, you know what? Here's what we'll do. For next week, write this down, Andy. Let's compare stats of concussions in rugby versus football.
That'd be interesting.
Let's see what we get when we find that.
Been done before, yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right, let's move on, guys. We've got lots of subjects here. The first thing I want to tackle is the NFL trade deadline.
Whew.
And this NFL trade deadline was more exciting this year than I can remember of the NHL trade deadline for a
Amazing.
number of years.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've renamed it, actually. I call it, you know that Kevin Bacon show?
Yeah.
I've called the trade deadline the 6 degrees of Browns being stupid.
Nice.
And you can link it up actually in like 2 degrees and pretty much, and we'll talk about that. Go ahead.
I made a comment on our Twitter account today about the NFL trade deadline, and we got George Larock not only liked it, but he followed First Down Sports.
All right.
Yeah,
George
right.
Larock.
George Larock.
Hey, George.
Yeah. So maybe at some point we'll have you on the show, George.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk. So the first trade really got it started with Adrian Peterson. Now, we've talked about that one. A big trade took place this week, and Buffalo...
Huge.
We're starting out with Buffalo?
We're starting with, well, I guess that is the
first
least
big
impactful
one.
one.
No, the
yeah.
first big one, they traded Marcel Darius to the Jacksonville Jaguars
was
for
like
a 6th
week ago.
round. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
last week, but
Yeah.
it was after our show.
Yeah.
It was after our show.
Yep.
So Marcel Darius gone to Jacksonville. Buffalo's dumping this salary. They are going to eat a piece of it for this year, but as of next year, it's
all gone.
gone.
It's gone.
What
It's
do you
awesome.
what do you think of this trade?
Well, I think Darius is there's still some major upswing that you're going to get from Darius. I think he played his way out of Buffalo. There was a lot of him doing lazy.
The Buffalo segment.
Just he was lazy. He wasn't engaged. Get rid of him.
Get rid of him.
And it was great. It was great that they took the whole salary, because I didn't see us getting rid of it.
I didn't
leave
think
him.
anybody would trade for that salary.
That's
No,
right.
I mean, I think it was. I remember talking to you guys on Messenger, and I think it's a good trade. I think that they got very little for him, which that's all they could get, and
That's
they
right.
sent him off to a coach that knows him, is willing to take it over. So it's great. Yeah, you
great.
get him out of the locker room.
2 years he did nothing.
Becoming a head
in the
coach.
last 2 days, there's articles all over the place as how Darius is shocked. He looks like a deer in the headlights that he's been traded from Buffalo.
Yeah.
Good on him. Hopefully it's humbling and he gets back his
Well,
gets
he's
going. again.
joining one heck of a defense.
Oh yeah.
The next big trade I want to talk
second
about.
Buffalo.
Jimmy Garoppolo goes from New England to San Francisco for a 2018 second round pick.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on this, boys?
Nothing about this surprised me. I mean, right from the beginning of the year, I was saying there's no way that this works for the Patriots. They can't franchise him. They can't pay him.
No.
So what are they going to, like this? I thought it was crazy that they didn't trade him in the offseason. But what does blow me away is what they ended up trading him for. And the fact that other teams, specifically the Browns, didn't step up and offer a little bit more than that. Crazy.
Yeah.
Good for 49ers. 49ers ruled the draft, as everybody said, and added all those great pieces.
Yeah.
And now they add potentially their franchise quarterback for just a second round pick.
Amazing.
Great move.
Yeah,
Chris,
only
just,
one.
Just real quick. Let's say the Bills had an opportunity. There's no way New England would have traded him to the Bills,
I wouldn't say that. We took Bledsoe.
right? But
No. But there's no way. If you heard
do you think
Bill talk about
if,
it?
if
No.
we have 2 first-round picks, would you have given up a first-round pick for Garoppolo?
no.
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah. You know, I would. Yeah, I would.
So you should.
Yeah.
But even that, there's no way Bill would have taken that.
Yeah.
You heard Bill's press conference talking about for 3 years we had the best quarterback situation in the league.
Yeah, he did. There's no question.
We
But-
made this last forever. There's no way he gives the Bills that.
Here's my biggest thing about this. They've traded away their future. They've traded away their future because now Tom Brady's 40 years old. Now I know
Showing no signs of
I know
slowing down.
His heart says he's going to play for another 3 or 4 years.
Well-
the fans' hearts want him to play for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
But at the end of the day, his body is not going to last another 3 or 4 years.
But what do you base
Look
that
at
on? You've been saying this since 38.
Brett Favre, his heart, he'd still be playing today.
Right.
But his body eventually, and not only that, but I want to tell you this. Tom Brady's taken more hits to the body this year than he has in the last 3 years combined.
Yeah, I think the Patriots definitely put themselves in a tough spot here. Like
If he gets hurt this year, their season's done.
Yeah, they're a Brady injury away from the season being over. But that said, I mean, I understand why they're confident that they're going to get 2, maybe 3 more seasons out of Brady. They'll find another Jimmy.
I don't know. They don't come around often. That kid, that could. You know what I liked about him? He gets rid of the ball quick, almost
Oh, real
Marino-like.
fast, yeah.
Almost Marino-like.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lane is traded from Seattle to Houston for Dwayne Brown, Pro Bowl tackle. That's a pretty good trade for the Browns. And what would Houston be
Browns.
doing? For Seattle.
Yep.
What would Houston be doing getting rid of this guy when they're on a playoff run themselves?
Disgruntled.
Do you have anything to say? Or
The kid was disgruntled.
well, I mean, he sat out half the season, protesting. He's like 32 years old. He's not a young guy.
No.
But he's still a really good, all pro tackle. He sat out half the season, and I think what Houston's doing here is they've been playing really well without him. They've
not?
got a mobile quarterback that's on the rise and is pulling it off. So I think they're being realistic about the fact that, like, hey, they're not calling it a season, but their Super Bowl window, probably with J.J. Watt out this year, isn't completely open.
Yeah.
They're going to lose this guy eventually anyways to free agency, get something for him. And they got a lot for him, didn't they? They got a second and a third or something? And a player?
It just said draft picks and a player.
Pretty sure they got a second and something else and a player. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
I'm more surprised that Houston with Watt out didn't go after Darius. I was really surprised about that.
Well, that's a big contract. I'm not even sure they could. They could fit it in the
between Watt's contract and Derek, that'd be 2 big salaries
lot,
to have.
yeah.
Plus, at some point, Clowney's contract's going to come up.
Yeah,
I just thought
think
they had
too much.
they just flat out didn't need him.
No.
Well, like, I'm just thinking like you got a window to possibly go to the playoffs. Teams do kind of silly things. You probably could have got. I don't know. Anyways, it was just a dream, like a little thought.
All right. Next trade that comes up, J.I.
Huge.
Miami to Philly for a 4th round pick.
Yeah,
That's a huge trade for the Philadelphia.
Philly's going for it.
These
And,
guys.
and what is Miami doing giving up this guy? They're still in the hunt. Even though they've got big quarterback problems and they scored 0 points last game, but
I understand why Miami did this. I'll let you commented. I'll let you comment in a sec, Chris, because you're the AFC East fan. But I think this makes sense. Number one, the Dolphins have been shut out twice this year. That's insane.
Yeah.
Twice they've been shut out. They have no business having the record that they have. The offense, Adam Gase, their coach, is an offensive coach. Their offense has been terrible. And Jay Ajayi's a problem. Like, they've butt heads as early as training camp, and Jay Ajayi was held out of the first game of the season because of a problem between him and his coach.
Yeah.
So I think he just decided, all right, I'm going to take this opportunity. We're playing terrible on offense. I read some stuff about Gase being mad about, like, when they were being shut out that last week. Ajayi was bouncing outside, trying for extra yards instead of just taking the 4 yards that were there, and it was really upsetting him. And finally, he just decided to make an example of him.
Yeah, I think it was an overreaction though. I read the same thing. I got a good friend, Jeff was my buddy. He's like, he kind of commented a little bit on it, Jeff McRae, and he's like, there was an indifference. There was some probably things that aren't even going to be reported of some butting of heads. But I think it's like they could have got much more than what they got.
Fourth round pick, they could have definitely got more.
Yeah, like geez.
Running backs are hard to
Yeah,
believe.
but he's an all-pro.
He's a
Yeah.
production back. He's a
Yeah.
production back.
Also a big injury risk, which factors into.
I think they're like we need to trade him. We're pissed off how he's playing. What do we got out there? Let's take it and move on. I think they could have kept him for a little bit and shopped him around.
Well, if this works out for Philly, they're going to be they're going all the way.
All the way?
Yeah.
All the way. Now, 3 minutes before the trade deadline, the Carolina Panthers trade Kelvin Benjamin to Buffalo for a 3rd and a 7th in 2018.
Boom.
Yep.
Huge. Boom.
Huge.
How's that? From a non-Bills fan, let's start with you. What's the outside looking?
Not
in on
much.
this?
I already know. Not much.
No, well, okay. Number one, I was really surprised they made a move. So I was wrong on that, thinking like Buffalo's not going to do anything. I was talking to Chris about this today, and so like early in the year, I predicted like before the preseason the Bills would go 8-8. Okay, and as hard as it is to do, I stand by that because the Bills in the last 5-6 years have started out hot, overachieved, and broken your hearts before. So there's no reason for me to go back on it just yet. Now, based on their current record, if you asked me to restate my opinion today on what the Bills would do, I'd probably go to 9-7. But the 9-7 is based solely on what their record is right now and not this move. I think this receiver, he's legitimately your number one receiver right now. That's not saying a lot, sorry, but he is a number one receiver pretty much in most places in the league. He's a big, huge, more tight end.
6'5".
He's like a tight end, a possession receiver more than a guy that's going to blow the top off the defense. And I know you two have conflicting views about Tyrod Taylor throwing deep. I think it's a good addition. You certainly didn't get worse. I don't think you overpaid for it. I think as a fan base, you should be super happy because it means you're going for it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I mean, I don't think this is a game changer, but I think it's a big addition.
Okay, after that, Chris, you have 30 seconds. That's what you have.
I'm sorry, Chris.
We're running short.
Thanks, buddy.
Go ahead, 30 seconds. Go.
Well, I look back when the Bills were starting to get good back in the day. They made an addition, was James Lofton. So this is the modern era James Lofton addition. Obviously, Lofton is well beyond awesome. Like he was awesome receiver. I don't know if Benjamin even should be compared. But anyways, I regress. I think one of the biggest points is that he's going to help. I don't know if it's going to be a huge difference on receiver, but you can't do one-on-one with Benjamin. You can't leave a safety to go one-on-one with this guy. He's too big. He's too big.
You can't leave anybody go on.
So I think the biggest factor you're going to get from this is the running game. It's going to help the running game. It's going to support the running game.
Yeah.
So, and that's our biggest strength. And if anything's going to make us better, is that. So now that's going to free up more time for Tyrod to do some, extend the play with his legs. You're going to have some, a big target, so you can trust that, throw it over the top, let him fight for it, or they're just simply going to have to respect more the passing game. The one thing I talked to Andy about today, but wouldn't it be nice if Bolden said, you know what?
Bolden, yeah.
Bolden
just said, I'll rejoin. Yeah.
He says he wants to come back. He wanted to come back to another team.
I don't think we need him. And let me tell you,
it would be awesome.
As of today,
slot receiver.
As of today, or as of yesterday, we had Andre Holmes on the outside, Matthews, Clay, Zay Jones, but now you got Benjamin Matthews on the outside, Clay at tight end when he gets back, Zay Jones, the rookie in the middle. That's who's going to be helped the most is Zay Jones.
Yeah.
With McCoy in the backfield, this team is destined for the playoffs.
So prediction, though.
My prediction at the beginning of the year, what was my prediction for the Bills?
9.
No. 10-6. Remember, I had
10-6, and the Browns 5, so 15.
Now, hold on here.
Don't you jinx us.
The Bills are 5-3. They got the Jets tomorrow night. I think it's safe to say we're going to go 6-3.
Don't play the schedule game.
I think 10-6 is an easy go here.
I just want to throw this one thing out because you guys are going to be watching this game. Here's my prediction: Zay Jones is still outside. Kelvin Benjamin's huge, and he plays way better in the slot. He goes deep in the slot and crossing routes and stuff. He just doesn't have the speed.
No, he's not a speed guy. He's a size guy. He's a red zone target.
Yeah, and nobody's going to leave him one-on-one on the outside.
All right. The last trade with 15 seconds left to go on the trade deadline, A.J. McCarron is traded from Cincy to Cleveland.
Great trade.
Wait a second. What the... Yeah, what's going on with my sound guy?
Sorry.
We finally
Sound
have
guy
sound.
killing it
Come
here.
on.
Yeah.
I told him to be prepared for this. Let's try it again. AJ
Come on.
McCarron is traded from Cincy to Cleveland. What the?
It's still.
Oh my God!
It's not me.
This is
It's
brutal.
the program.
It seemed to be working fine before the show.
Then you lag it. Then you give it a little lag. You should
All right.
see that coming.
Andy, you have
Come on.
15 seconds. What's your thoughts here on AJ McCarron?
It's just, well, I mean, I'm glad it didn't go through. I get that the coach tried to force. There are terrible things happening in Cleveland. Let's just put it that way. The
Is it
coaches,
possible
the
they
front
go-
office.
Is it possible they go 0-16 this year?
Oh.
Yeah, I saw in your notes you said 0-16 again. They didn't go 0-16 last year.
No, I thought they went 0-16.
Possible. It is probable that they go 0-16 this year, and I hope some major shakeups happen, like right now.
Immediately.
All right, we're
I
getting
know.
into.
I'd want it to like keep going all the way down. Get that first round pick again.
Oh, they're gonna get it, Chris.
new
It's not gonna
regime.
matter.
No, new regime.
Yeah, doesn't matter who they fire right now.
All right, we got to move on to week 8
Fire
games,
sale.
and these are going to go pretty quick here.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills at home against the Oakland Raiders. Roll the Raiders 34-14.
Whoa!
Andy,
the-
does this make the Buffalo Bills a playoff contender?
Not this specifically. Their 5th win does. Absolutely. Interesting stat for you. The Oakland Raiders are the only team in NFL history to not have a single interception in their first 8 games.
Wow.
The Oakland Raiders are not that good. But that being said, I'm not taking anything away from the Bills, but the fact that they beat Oakland doesn't mean much to me. The fact that they're 5-2, they are a playoff contender. Absolutely.
Awesome. Chris,
Yeah.
any thoughts there real quick? We're Bills fans. That's why I went to Andy on those.
Yeah, of course. Well, you know, I just think
it's
that.
like Super Bowl over here.
Yeah, come on. I'm. You heard my comments today. I'm
No,
just treading
he is.
lightly.
He is, yeah.
This is an uncharted waters. I don't really know what to think. I don't want to say too much. But I thought on this, the defense played stellar. Hyde is a beast back there. 5th interception in a row. You just see the team. This is one of those games we could have lost again.
Yeah.
But the team doesn't give up. They just keep going. They keep going.
Well, like you're saying, this is the first year. I don't say anything on social media about the Bills. I'm just riding with this wave. I'm really liking what McDermott's doing, but I don't want to get overconfident. This team just doesn't have the talent for me to think that
Yeah.
we're going to get to the playoffs. But now that we got Kelvin Benjamins, we got the Benjamins, baby.
All right,
We got the Benjamins, baby. We're
And Ray's going all in.
So you guys-
and Ray's going all in.
Listen, the last thing you guys should feel bad about is the fact that you could have lost a bunch of games, but like the ball keeps bouncing your way.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, if the ball bounces your way and you haven't figured out a way to beat yourself anyways,
Yeah.
you deserve the win. You guys are doing good, and you got the Benjamin, and
got
we'll know
the
and we'll know what that means.
I kind of look at this as like you got a good poker hand, and if I overreact, everybody knows what I got. So I just right now just want to hold those cards tight.
I don't know. Let's hope you
And
guys
let's
don't have the
see.
flush, but one of those hearts is actually a diamond, and you're not seeing it clearly.
All right, I wanted to talk New England Chargers. We've got to move on from this game. We don't have time. I'm just shocked that more points weren't scored by the Chargers when you look at the stats of this game. It's crazy.
Lots of rushing yards,
the
lots
heck's
of passing yards, and there were
Horrible.
no turnovers.
No
I don't know
turnovers.
how it happened.
Did you see the last play with the Chargers?
No.
I got a good friend that he's a Charger fan. He goes, Chris, watch the play. And to be honest, I forgot to go take a look at it.
All right,
But
well, I'll
there's
pull it up
something there's
while we
something that
continue on.
happened when they because the defense held and they could have come back and tied it. But something happened, and I feel horrible that I didn't go get a chance to take a look at
We'll
it.
move on, and I'll
All
find
right,
it.
let's
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on. Let's go to. I've got a couple questions for Andy on other games. So let's talk Broncos Chiefs real quick, Chris. So after watching the Broncos haven't played well the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, Alex Smith is red hot right now.
He's a beast.
I'd say he's right up there for league MVP right now. He's
yeah.
playing so well.
Yeah.
But after winning this game, do you think that puts Kansas City in the area where we can start saying Kansas City will not only win, but right now they're going to host the AFC Championship?
It's going to be very hard to beat Alex Smith right now.
Yeah.
And that defense, although I think there's a lot of there's teams that have better defenses, they're playing good D as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough team. It's going to be a tough team, not to say like Philly and KC.
That would be a great Super Bowl. But I'll tell you, out of all the predictions I've ever made in life, this was probably my worst prediction this year when I said
Me
Kansas
too.
City was
I
gonna be
said same
2-40.
thing. I said same thing.
I only said that selfishly because I wanted the Bills to pick up
The first round.
First
And I
round
told
pick.
you
Now we
so.
get-
All right. Now, Texans go down to Seattle. They lose in Seattle, which isn't uncommon for most teams that
Right.
go to Seattle.
I'm pretty sure Seattle
Okay.
is tremendously up from them, not
Yeah, yeah,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so they went up. Yeah,
up,
let's-
up.
Up.
So, but that being said,
Boing.
Deshaun Watson rolls into Houston or into Seattle and throws
Yeah.
4 touchdowns against that defense. Andy, does this now make you believe that Deshaun Watson can be a viable starter in the NFL?
Well, now that's some rhetoric right there. I've been calling him a viable starter for quite a while now. Do I think he's a superstar in the making? It's there. Like I'm gonna say Deshaun Watson is at the end of this season is gonna be bigger than RG3 was at the end of his. Now let's hope he doesn't turn out that way. Yeah, I'm starting to believe it. Like his first pick to Chancellor there, when he threw it, I was like, okay, fine. Teams are starting to figure out Deshaun Watson. That was a bad throw, and then he just absolutely tears the place up for the rest of the game. So I mean, I'm definitely like this kid is one of the better quarterbacks.
Wow.
in the
He
league.
throws 2 touchdowns.
Finally said it.
2 touchdowns against Richard Sherman. Did you see what Richard Sherman had to say about him after the game?
No, probably good things though.
Richard Sherman said he's played against all the greats. Manning, Brady, blah, blah. He said he has never played against a rookie that has walked in and did what he did to their defense like this kid did. He said he's a bona fide superstar in this
I
league.
mean, that's an interesting comment because he's never played Manning when he was a rookie.
Well,
I mean,
that's
like
true.
he
That's
really
true.
kind of
Yeah.
went haywire there.
Quick thing on this. So, is it big now that the Browns passed on him? Because it wasn't that big before.
Oh no, it was always big, but it's still, to me, it's still bigger with Wentz. Like for whatever reason, what it is with Watson, I just can't see him sustaining in the AFC North. But it's big. I mean, Wentz is the biggest, and Watson is almost next up. I think striking out on Garoppolo is bigger. It's pathetic. Like anyway? Let's
We should do a
digress.
thing before the draft was like we should start a pool of what QBs does Cleveland pass over?
All of them. Yeah, all of them.
All right. I don't want to. You're a Browns fan. It's up to you. How long you even want to talk about this? We don't have a whole lot of time, but Vikings 33, Browns at home 16. Want to talk about it?
Yeah, the Browns super competitive for the first half. They were ahead at
7-0,
half,
yeah.
and then the Browns became the Browns. I mean, and they somehow figured out a way to make Chase Daniel look great. I mean, when our offense cannot keep our defense off the field, eventually our defense, which is playing lights out, it's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to work out for them. And that's it. And then just bad mistakes. Like the opening play of the second half, Isaiah Crowell gets stripped for a fumble, and they're already in field goal range.
Huge.
And our guy muffs a punt. So anyway, that's all I want to say about this game. But Chris, here's your play. So I just so the Chargers basically spiked the ball with 1 second on the clock. So here's the play. By the way, it's 13-21.
Yeah.
So they still would have had to convert the 2-point conversion. So let's see let's see what your pal's talking about here.
So we see Rivers
dropping back. There's 1 second on the clock, and he throws a pick.
I don't know if that's the play though. I think it's
Like, is there
before that. There's something else before that.
And Philip Rivers is very angry, and maybe there was pass interference or something, but they're not going to show it to us.
there was something else that happened before.
What's your friend's
We'll figure it out.
What's your friend's
Stephen
name?
O'Blinus.
Stephen O'Blinus?
Stephen
That's right.
O'Blinus?
Stephen O'Blindus, I think. Like,
Steven!
Stephen,
next
whatever
time
you're
you
talking
say-
about, I have no idea what's going on.
I've seen a million plays on the last play of the game end up in a interception. Tyrod Taylor did that last year. That's a standard play.
Like,
Come on, O'Blinus.
Just accept this, Steven. That when the Bills come in week 2 more games, it's going to be very similar, except it's going to be much higher.
Staying humble, guys. He's staying humble. Yeah.
It's only for Steven. That's all.
His video highlight reel is about as good as his hockey game. All right. Snap! Oh, look at that. We finally got the sound. coming
Shots
back.
fired.
He's a good defense
Wow.
back there. He
Wow.
stops all my in between the leg
All
passes.
right, let's before we move on, I wanted to get into predictions. We just don't have time, boys. Next week we're going to talk some mid-season predictions.
Sure.
I know I predicted Green Bay to win the Super Bowl. I'd like to change my prediction.
I guess we'll allow
Right?
that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next week, review what your predictions were from the beginning of the year. I'm going to give you a chance to alter them if you
My
want.
Super Bowl predictions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
All right.
locks and upsets for this week. Chris, who do you have for your lock?
My lock of the week is the Rams over the Giants.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
Giants
a good one.
have a good D, but I think the Rams are playing.
They got no
stellar.
receivers.
Yeah.
Andy.
My lock was gonna be your lock, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. But I'll go Texans over Colts.
Texans over Colts.
Yeah,
Nick, do
that's
you
a
have a lock
guarantee.
you want to talk about?
My lock is your lock, so go ahead.
It's the Buffalo Bills, baby. The Buffalo Bills.
You're showing all your cards.
I'm coming out of the closet. I'm starting to talk about
He's
the
got
Bills.
two aces. Fold, everybody.
All right. Upsets. Chris, what's your upset?
I got Bengals over the Jags, and it's kind of surprising. I'm saying the Jags, as you always thought, the Jags have typically have always sucked, but the Jags have a solid team this year. But I do think,
Bengals don't,
But
yeah.
but you know what? The Bengals beat the Bills, and
That's true.
I think the Bills are better than the Jags. I'm showing a little my
All right,
cards again.
Andy, what do you got?
Yeah.
I've got the juiciest upset at this table. I'm taking the Broncos over the Eagles. Brock Lobster is starting for the Broncos,
That's right.
and that defense is going to absolutely
Can you
ruin,
imagine?
as Ray calls him, JJGI, his debut, and the Broncos are going to beat the Eagles.
That's a huge. That would be a
Nice.
huge upset.
Nick, you got an upset?
Huge.
Cowboys over KC.
Wow, there's a good one. My upset is San Francisco with Garoppolo over Arizona.
I didn't
like
th-
it.
I didn't
Very
think.
doable.
I didn't think he
I
was
don't know that
starting.
he's. I don't
Yeah,
know that
he'll
he's
be
going to start
starting.
though.
No, I don't think.
I think they're
there's
going to go
a-
with Beat
you-
Hard.
Yeah, that's
you
what
wait
I
and
heard.
see. You wait and see. They're not going to give up a chance.
I don't know.
All
Gonna
right.
give it up. All right.
Just a couple odds and ends before we get out of here, boys. World Series Game 7 goes tonight. Just to give you an idea of the scoring in this series, Game 1, LA wins 3-1. Houston wins Game 2, 7-6. Game 3, Houston wins 5-3. In Game 4, LA comes back, ties the series 6-2. And then Houston wins a huge, crazy ball game, 13-12. LA ties the series again last night, 3-1. Now we got Game 7 tonight at the Dodgers. What's your thoughts on this? And my biggest question is, what's the odds and over for the score tonight?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know too much about that, but I'll just say this: is that in this series, pitching has been crazy good. You know, a lot of it is me watching a lot of the highlights. But what I've been surprised at is how many runs are still being put up on as strong as pitching as what they have.
Yeah.
You know, it's been pretty because you look at that set, like put up 7 runs on some of these pitchers, unreal.
Yeah. Well, Darvish is pitching tonight, and he did not have a good outing for the first time with his 21.6 ERA and 4.2 WHIP. So we'll see if he can turn it around. But good pitching. It's McCullers versus you, Darvish.
Who
so
are you
we'll see.
taking tonight?
When it comes to baseball right now, I'm just going with who I want to win.
Yeah,
I
who
want
do you-
I want to see Houston win.
Houston,
Me too.
Chris?
Houston, yeah.
Houston, Nick, Houston around the table. Speaking of Houston, I don't know if you guys heard this, but on November 30th, Tiger Woods is making a return again to the PGA Tour.
I read it.
All right.
Tiger Woods is coming back again.
And is there any reason why we should be optimistic?
he's coming-
did he say he had like his back surgically?
He's been
been crowded?
all over social media, hitting different
No,
kinds of
this
shots
is what it
and
is.
stuff. But
He's coming back as the bad guy. When he played good, he was the bad guy. You just didn't know about it. So Tiger Woods is not going to come back
Is
as a
this-
nice guy, polished guy.
Is this single Tiger
This
Woods?
is single bad guy Tiger
Oh,
Woods.
man, he's
Get
coming
ready
back.
for low scores.
He's
Because
coming
the
back.
bad guy's back.
all right, Ezekiel Elliott, he is out again.
Yeah.
Zeke.
Is there any chance Zeke gets to play again?
I hear that there is, but I mean it's way more unlikely now. I think
He's done.
I think he's going to be done, and if the Cowboys make the playoffs, I think he'll be back in time for that. But yeah.
Fantasy question.
Yeah.
So do you take this guy knowing that he can only come back in a championship game?
Ooh.
Is he worth the trade for?
Oh.
no,
No.
no.
Okay.
You know the best thing I love about this Elliott news? 2 words. Rodney Sear.
Oh, yeah.
Rodney Sear. It's in your face, baby.
Looks good on you, buddy.
All right.
Looks good.
Last thing before we get out of here, Papa John's Pizza.
Yeah.
What's going on with Papa John's Pizza, Andy?
Papa John's pissed off. Apparently, they released a statement and were at like a board of directors meeting or something like that, and blamed the NFL for absolutely botching how they handled the whole protest thing, not handling things the way the player, like they called it out, the players and the ownership. So they weren't even taking a side.
Yeah.
They just said the NFL did not handle this at all, and because of that, pizza sales went down.
Crazy.
Oh my god.
Well, listen here, Papa John.
Wow.
We would love to have a pizza sponsor, and we'd love to have you as a sponsor of First Down Sports. And I can tell you right now, as a referee, if any of these guys take a knee, I'm going to be throwing this thing.
Or-
we're going to get a 15-yard and a game ejection.
So is that our stance? We don't like the knee.
You're not
You're
taking a
talking.
knee?
You're talking
No.
for everybody.
I'm telling you right now, if anybody on this panel takes a knee, I'm throwing this
If anyone,
flag.
let's put it this way:
15 yards and an ejection.
Anyone's going to be dramatic. Let's put it that way. If anyone's going to be dramatic,
Yeah.
then we'll throw it.
All right.
Owners included.
Final thoughts. We're finally at final thoughts. Chris, what's your final thoughts before we get out of here?
Well, I can't wait for Thursday. Being a homer, this is my homer thoughts. I can't wait for the Bills and Jets, because if they beat them, McCoy said it best. It's like we can go 4-4 and still make the playoffs. So I can't wait to see this game. I'm on pins and needles.
Pins and needles.
Because the Jets don't write off the Jets.
No.
The Jets could have won a lot of those games.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good game.
They still have a good defense.
Yep.
Nick, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
GSP is back.
Yes.
This
GSP.
Saturday.
Nice. This Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good fight. Good fight.
We got Chris Dobson that gave the invite if we want to go down and watch it at his house. He's got a big spread. Big spread.
Well, I'm off this weekend for AUS football, so I'm available.
Oh, I can't believe Raby's leaving the den. Wow.
I'm available to play with the boys this weekend.
Jeez.
Available to play with the boys.
Jeez Louise.
Andy, any final thoughts? before we
I
go?
scrambled to pull this up the moment you said final thoughts, and get this. So last week I said Mark Cormier was in first place in the pick 'em
know, wait
pool, and
till
I
he
moved
announces.
into second place.
Yeah.
And we give Diana Bork a shout out. She
wins.
goes on a tear, wins the week with 23 points, and moves into second place and knocks me down. The last damn shout out you get, Diana Bork.
So here's the thing. We got some. We've got some product from our sponsor Moose Light. It didn't come in the sizes for us to give out as prizes. So we are going to come up with a little competition on how somebody could win a 2-4 of Moose Light. So we're going to come up with that off air. We'll announce it on our social media pages. And for all the people that have won, their name's going to go in for a draw or something for a case of 24 Moose Light beer.
Wow.
Okay.
Sound good?
All right.
Okay. All right. Before I give my final thoughts again, let's thank our sponsors. If it's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, make sure you go get yourself a Moose Light.
And Saturday.
This stuff is scary good. I don't think we said scary good off the top of the show.
And it's Halloween. And it's Halloween. When it finally makes sense.
Yeah.
It's Halloween show.
I know. Too bad.
Scurry show.
Scary good. Ooh, Jeff.
You should have a sounder for this instead of doing it yourself.
No, I like doing it myself.
Hats, shirts, jackets,
clipping
pens,
that out.
pencils, you name it. Go see our buddies at Doyle's Corporate Image.
Doyle's rule.
If your kitchen sucks, and you know most likely it does, get your butt over to Luongo's and get some done right sauce. This stuff is fantastic. No more Luongo's?
I'm just shaking my head.
Sobeys works too.
Sobeys
Go to
too.
Sobeys. Go to
Longo's.
Sobeys or Luongo's.
Or
Longo's.
or Jacobs.
Why would
Jacobson's.
Why would Roberto Luongo call it Longos?
Why does that happen? How does that even happen?
Where's his volume switch? There it is.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
on.
Bye. Bye.
All right, here's my final thoughts. Like Chris, the Buffalo Bills play Thursday night against the Jets. I think the most exciting thing for me about this game is the fact that the Bills are actually relevant again. Mm-hmm. When's the last time I was watching the NFL Network last night, and they did the top 10 teams of the NFL.
Yeah.
The Bills are ranked in 8th. And I was like, holy jeez, the Bills are getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been that long since you were relevant. Like one of the Rex Ryan years, at this point in the season, you guys were singing playoffs just like you are right now. So
Yeah.
let's just hope
I
we
know,
hold
but-
it together here.
I know, but there's definitely a different vibe with Sean McDermott than there was with Rex
Let's
Ryan.
hope it
Stop
makes it.
ruining it, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm heading
Just
out
a
to
ruiner.
ref my Bantam football
Give me a
game.
break here.
Good luck to both these teams, and good luck to all you teams, high school teams, university teams, minor teams here that are
Head on a
heading
swivel.
into your playoffs this week. Head out, have a good week, and enjoy the games this week. Have a great week.
All right, bye.
Too
Screw
easy.
you, Browns.
They won't lose this.
I hit the post. Hit the
Hit
post.
the post. They won't lose this week because they're on bye.
That was.
She's all lit up, hair and makeup. She's out every night. She's drinking pesticide. She's up and gone again. It's not a boyfriend.